down the basement, lock the cellar door, and baby, talk bloody to me.
Hi, and welcome to another exciting edition of Talk Bloody to Me. I'm Matt,
And I'm Brezzy.
and today we're talking about another one of my all-time favorite movies, A House of a Thousand Corpses, or The House of a Thousand Corpses.
No, it's the House of a Thousand
The House of a
Corpses.
Thousand Corpses.
House.
It's
House.
it's one of them houses of a thousand corpses. No, it's
Yeah.
the House of a Thousand Corpses. And we had already talked about Devil's Rejects, which is the sequel to this movie, but but we hadn't talked about this one yet, and so we felt we better go back and discuss this one before we missed out on it. So,
Yeah.
this is as I said, I really love this movie. Not to, we'll get to the ratings later, but Breezy, what do you think of this movie?
See, like I do like A House of a Thousand Corpses, and I did see this like long time ago when it came out.
Uh-huh.
But it's just like, yeah, I love the bloody, but I'm just not into it. However, I do like Shira Moon Zombie in this one though. Because
Uh-huh.
well, she does play a good role in all the Rob Zombies films.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like her hairstyle in this one.
She does have some great hair.
Yeah, she does.
Yep.
She does.
So this movie is directed by Rob Zombie, and it has Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding, Bill Moseley as Otis, Sherry Moon Zombie as Baby Firefly. They're the core trio that returned for the Devil's Rejects. But
Did
this
you say
one's
Bill? Did you say Bill Moseley?
I did.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think you said that. I'm not sure.
I think I don't even remember what I said. I think I said it.
Okay.
We'll have to rewind and check. No, but yeah, so they're the Devil's Rejects, but you also get Mama Firefly, you get Killer Carl, you get Grandpa Otis or Grandpa Hugo, excuse me. Now I'm getting all confused. You get and you got Tiny, and this one is a lot is so like we've talked in the past about like Gremlins and Gremlins 2 or Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 where the sequel is a little bit sillier and goofier than the original, and this one's the exact opposite. This one's
Mhm.
more silly and goofy, and then they got more serious with the Devil's Rejects. And I guess the story on this is that Universal Studios hired Rob Zombie to design like a haunted house for their Halloween Nights event. And so, as he was working on what was the haunted house for Universal Studios, which was going to be called the House of a Thousand Corpses, but they later changed to American Nightmare, that became his inspiration for making this movie. And you can tell because it kind of has like a theme park haunted house thrill ride almost feel to the movie itself.
And kind of like a circus, like a haunted circus too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Um so it starts off you get a little clip of Dr. Wolfenstein doing a little horror show, and you see a commercial for um Captain Spaulding's chicken and gas station. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's his House of Freaks, Horrors, and Madmen, something along those lines.
And mind you, like Matt has dressed up as Captain Spaulding. Oh, excuse me, Captain Spaulding at Crypticon. That was funny.
It's true. There's several pictures out there to prove it. I even was in the costume contest in the beginner category, but unfortunately, I did not win. But
That's all right. But
yeah,
at least you know you got in there. But yeah, you were Captain Spaulding.
yep, exactly. That's how much I like this movie. Is I wanted to
Yeah.
be Captain Spaulding. I even got the shirt with the hot dog on it and everything.
You
And
could have worn that during the podcast.
oh my
I
gosh, I wasn't
forgot.
even thinking. Oh my,
Yeah.
oh well. Start over. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, So you see this, it's a gas station and fried chicken stand and also a museum of curiosities and strange things. It kind of reminds me of like a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, if you've ever seen something like that. But it's like a roadside attraction, and they try to get so a couple people try to rob them. Captain Spaulding is not putting up with that shit. He pulls out his gun, says "Fuck yo mama." fuck your
I
sister.
like that one. That was in the beginning of the movie.
Yup. Because he's like, put your hands up, and he puts them up with two middle fingers like that.
That is so me.
Yeah, I could totally see you doing that.
No, actually, not the middle finger. Not well, the middle fingers, yes. But when he like shoots at a person, he goes, "Oh, by the way, fuck you,"
Yep.
or "fuck off," or something like
He
that.
says he
I'm like,
says fuck your mama, fuck your sister, fuck your grandma, or something like that. And then right before he shoots him, he goes, and fuck you too, and then he shoots him.
yeah,
And that sets the tone for the movie.
yep,
Um, so then you get some tourists come through, a group of four teenagers. One of them is played by Rainn Wilson, who would eventually go on to be Dwight on The Office. But this was, I think, before The Office. Yeah. And so it's just so funny seeing Dwight from The Office as someone that's not Dwight and that he's young and he's in this horror movie and he's like kind of like the main good guy almost. But they're going cross country touring all these little roadside locations and attractions and writing a book, and they stop for gas here and they decide, well, this is the perfect place for our book. We need to talk about this place. So they convince Captain Spaulding to give them a tour, and there's a little ride that goes along with it, hence part of the thrill ride vibe. And the ride talks all about Dr. Satan, who is this person who is doing experiments on people in the mental assignment and mutating them and making them all weird. And they hung them from a tree nearby. And so they decide, well, they got to go check out this tree. And they're like, some of the women are like, nah, let's not bother. And they're like, oh, come on, this is perfect for the book. So they go out in search of the tree. A lot, Captain Spaulding doesn't really want to tell them where it is, but he gives them some very vague directions. And so they go out. Along the way, they meet a hitchhiker, and it's Baby Firefly, who reminds me kind of Breezy. It'll
what?
just just
It
her
reminds
personality.
me. So that reminds you of me.
Yeah, I'm just teasing you.
What? I never really. Nobody has actually told me that when they actually like. Well, probably because they don't really legit know me. Know me. If they like legit know me, they're probably like, yeah,
Right.
like you're so like she remember on Zombie and House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, except she's blonde and you're a redhead, but otherwise,
yeah,
yeah. So they pick her up, and the women I think are a little less than thrilled that they just picked up this young blonde, but she's like, "Oh, I know right where that tree is. I'll take you there. I'll help you out, no problem." And she's acting kind of ditzy and kind of playing up the stereotypical blondness of it all. All of a sudden, boo! You see someone shoots their tire out, and poof, they think it was just a blowout. So they're like, "Oh, now what do we do?" And she's like, "Oh, my brother has a tow truck, and he'll tow it, and you can come to my house." And they're like, "Okay, fine." So they end up at the house of a thousand corpses, and there's like she has dolls like nailed all to the door and like all around. See, it totally reminds me of you. I can see you doing that.
yeah. The decorations. That's so me.
Right, exactly.
Well, that the decorations, yes, that is me. There's some like how she plays the role and some like in this movie.
Hmm.
There's yes, there is certain scenes that I could play well with her, especially
Yep.
that when they go into the liquor store and she talks to this like guy, like Boogie or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is I can do that pretty well.
Yep. That I can see. Yep. So they show up and they is it Halloween if I remember right or like the
I yeah, I believe so.
and they're like because so they're like the family they meet Mama Firefly and they're talking about how they're going to have a Halloween celebration and they kind of laugh at them and Mama gets offended and she's like this isn't funny, this is serious business, young people, your city folk with your fancy ways and all this and whatnot. And so she's already kind of mad, but they're going to put on a little pageant. So they have dinner and you meet Grandpa Otis, who's just kind of an oddball, and the tow tow truck driver is Killer Carl, is their brother. He's kind of strong, silent type. Um, and we totally forgot to mention when we did our um, Devil's Rejects recap that Killer Carl does reappear. He's got some kind of
Yep.
homemade, like makeshift armor and a bunch of guns, and he goes down in a blaze of glory, taking out cops, and he gets shot to death. Grandpa Otis, you never see again. I keep calling him Grandpa Otis. Grandpa
Yeah, it's like
Hugo.
what? Why you keep
Grandpa
calling him Grandpa Otis?
Otis is Bill Moseley. He comes out late. You'll see him later. When they're talking, when there's a news report or a radio broadcast or something in the background where you hear that like five cheerleaders have gone missing and they've been searching for these cheerleaders. Well, you see, good old Bill Moseley Otis is upstairs with the five cheerleaders and he's got them tied up and he's doing all kinds of unthinkable and unspeakable things to them. And baby's like, oh, he's just having some fun, he'll be down later. But so and then you get to meet Tiny, who is a very large, weird looking deformed person. He's got like a leather mask, and Mama explains that her husband, Daddy Firefly, tried to burn the house down with Tiny in it, and so he has severe burns and scarring and so on, and that's why he's got the weird mask and is all weird looking.
I like it. It's kind of creepy, but I
Yeah,
like it.
definitely. And I honestly thought it was like some kind, this is gonna sound horrible, but I thought they had like some kind of animatronics or puppets or something. But the actor, um, Matthew McGrory, is actually just kind of, looks that way in real life. So it's like, that's cool that they
Mhm.
incorporated that into the story and they hired an actor like that. I think that looks like that. I think that's neat. But anyway, so they have their whole hoot nanny, what have you. And eventually they're like, we gotta get out of here. This shit starts hitting the fan. They start to get bad vibes, and the two guys try to leave, and they get captured by two scarecrows, which are, I think, Otis and Tiny in disguise. And then they bring them back, and then they proceed to. There's different tortures. Baby is like, who is she with? She's like, name my favorite movie star, and then she ends up like cutting part of his head off, scalping him, like,
Yup.
and yeah, all sorts of chaos and mayhem. You find out that they've been killing people, and at some point they make they make Dwight from The Office, Rainn Wilson, into a half man, half fish creature. Like he's dead, obviously, and he did some sort of weirdo taxidermy to like fuse the top half of his
Yeah.
body with like a shark body or something.
Yeah, I seen that. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I'm like,
hmm With the
that,
implication being that all the weird stuff you saw in the museum at the beginning could potentially have been people that were murdered and then crafted into this sort of weird, bizarre art for this museum. Anyway, you were
well,
saying?
with the, Rob Zombie, he is kind of like when he directs it, he always have this like really weird, eerie vibes with really like special effects, which is really good.
hmm
And then like he also puts film, film work into the work too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was reading a little trivia about this, and apparently, for a lot of the scenes, they filmed two different versions. They filmed like a more tame version, and then they filmed a more gory, disgusting version, so that if the studios thought it was too extreme, they could go for the safer option. And apparently, there's a much longer, drawn out scene where they actually show Otis making him into the fish man and like cutting him apart and like
What? Why do that? Add that
I
in.
know, right? I want a director's cut. I want to see all
Yeah.
that. Um, and so there's the one of the women teens, her dad is a cop, and so he realizes that they haven't shown up where they're supposed to, so they send cops out to investigate. Um, and Mama Firefly shoots the one right in the head, which his brother is the cop that's hunting him down in Devil's Rejects, so that's how that connects. But um, Walton Goggins is one of the cops. He's really famous nowadays. He was recently in White Lotus, and he's on all the Walmart commercials lately, talking about the new Walmart. But he was in this movie way back in 2003 as a cop, and they think it's no big deal. They think it's oh whatever, and then they open up the barn door, and there's all five dead naked cheerleaders with they're all cut up and they're all naked, and he's like, "What the fuck?" and barfs all over, and it's like, um,
I'm- If if you were like walked in, I don't know if I can see you barfing with all the naked cheerleaders, or you would probably enjoy it.
in real life, I don't think I'd enjoy it, but if it was fake, then probably. But
Me, if I like walked in with the like naked cheerleaders and like they're dead, I'm like, one, I probably wouldn't barf, and two, I'd be like, whoa, somebody had fun, and then turn it into a bizarre ending. So what the heck happened?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, I believe now my memory, I'm spacing out, but I think those cops get killed also. And they dress up the some of the kids like rabbits, and they chase them down, kill them, and ultimately the two get lowered in a coffin down into a well where there's all kinds of freaks and abominations and mutants that look like they're the result of Dr. Zombie, gee whiz, Dr. Satan's experiments. I think Rob
Hey,
Zombie should really
you're on
should
the
really
right
change his name to
track.
Dr. Zombie. I think he missed the boat years ago why he didn't call himself Dr. Zombie. That would have been perfect. But Rob Zombie, if you're listening, it's not too late to change your name to Dr. Zombie. I'm sure he listens to our podcast.
Yep.
So eventually she comes face to face with Dr. Satan himself, and he's all crazy looking. He's got like weird like claw hands and stuff. And then he's killing the last remaining guy. And then Papa Firefly comes in. He's not dead. He's a big old brute. He's chopping shit down and trying to kill everyone. And they collapse the room on him, and she gets away. And phew, thank God. And then she's trying to get away, and here comes a car, and she's hitchhiking. And wouldn't you know it, it's our old friend Captain Spaulding, who had nothing to do with this house. So we think up to this point, or so they think, other than he sort of low key pointed them in the right direction of how to get there. But he's like, don't worry, we're gonna take care of you. Don't worry. And all of a sudden, who pops up from the back seat? It's Otis. And it doesn't end well for anyone.
Nope. What a bloody, gory, pretty much mess.
Yes, this movie is very visceral, very gory, very extreme, over the top, campy, goofy. There's parts of actual humor in it, and
I got a question for
sure.
you. So my question is, since it's on top of my head, I go, oh, I want to forget about it in like 5 seconds.
Hmm.
So which one is gory? This movie or Terrifier?
Oh, snap. I think I think Terrifier is maybe gorier or maybe more extreme. Terrifier has the upside down sawing. The first one does, which I think that tops everything in this movie. And
Yeah.
then Terrifier 2 is just you got the whole bleach and salt. And I think Terrifier wins. Um,
Yeah.
but
I just had to ask that question because it's like it's bloody and gory. I'm like, you know what? I wonder which one is gorier, this one or that one.
yeah, but if you like Terrifier, there's a good chance you'll probably like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess Rob Zombie, like when they were making this, they planned it to be more of a like a really, really serious movie, and then just kind of as they were making it, it started to get a little bit more campy and a little bit more silly, and so they were like, "Eh, screw it," and they just went with it.
Mhm.
But then he went back to the drawing board with the Devil's Rejects and made the serious movie that he was trying to make in the first place. So it's like that kind of makes sense actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Um,
does.
but what are some parts that stand out in your memory of this movie, Breezy?
Uh, I, my main one is when Captain Spaulding took these group of like what I think they're teens, and
Yeah.
it's like a Halloween,
Yep.
I Halloween night, and they took him into this like I want to say like uh, it reminds me of a mine, but it's not a mine. It's like one
Hmm.
of those like you sit on the train, they go slow, but each section has its like little thing.
Yeah, it's like a
And
little theme park ride, kind of like where you're just sitting in a cart and then you go to room to room to room, and each one has its own like little story and theme, and then he's standing on the front of the cart and narrating and telling the story.
yeah, that whole scene I actually like because like from one room to another room, they actually Captain Spaulding actually talked about like the true crime, like Ed Gein.
Oh,
So
yep.
it's like a little truth to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he talks about he has little exhibits and he talks about actual real life serial killers and stuff. And so it gives it like this air of legitimacy that like, oh, Dr. Satan is a real guy. He's right there with Ed Gein and all these other people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh Otis is just who's your favorite character?
I want to say Otis.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say is Otis is probably the real star of the show. He's um probably the most murderous, and I think he actually kind of, even though Mama kind of seems like she's running the family, I think Otis really is sort of running the family. And Captain Spaulding's awesome, but he's not actually in this movie a whole lot. He's at the very beginning for a bit, and then he's at the very end. But in the
Yep.
middle, he's missing in action. So
God,
yeah,
I just wish he would have like been in there more.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, and I really like how they continued from this movie to The Devil's Rejects, but they never explain what happened to Dr. Satan or Grandpa Hugo. But
Yeah.
I think they just left them behind. They just,
Yep.
I
Pretty
think
much.
Otis
Just
killed
dropped
them
him.
all. Otis killed them and made it into more art for the gas station.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So what would you rate House of a Thousand Corpses?
I want to rate this one probably like a nine. It's more so like the gory parts.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm going to give it a 10. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I said it's one of my favorites. How can I not give it a 10?
Mhm.
But if you're looking for the more serious movie, Devil's Rejects is the more serious, and I think I like that one a little bit better just because it's less goofy and feels more like something that could actually happen. Where this, there's more like fantasy elements with Dr. Satan and a well full of mutants, and there's some stuff that's sort of like, okay, this isn't real life. This is
Yep.
goofy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Obviously, it's not real life. It's a movie, but you know what I mean.
Yep. We know.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, all these it's a classic. It's awesome. I don't know what else to say.
When did you first seen this?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna be mad, but it's like it was like a few years ago, only like a few couple of years ago. I hadn't seen this for a long time because it had such a reputation as being like so gory and so over the top. And before you and I started doing this podcast, I was a little bit more of a weenus when it came to some of that stuff.
There you are.
Yeah, I've gotten tougher over after doing this podcast. I've built up more of a tolerance for this stuff. But
Yes, you have, and I'm proud of you.
thank you. If you listen to some of the earlier episodes where I'm talking about almost barfing, and
Yup.
I probably would barf if I walked into that garage. Now that you mention it, but uh, so I have actually avoided. People talked about it, and they were always like, "Oh, House of a Thousand Corpses, House of a Thousand Corpses, it'd blow your mind." And that and Devil's Rejects both, I kind of like. I don't know if I want to watch them. I was kind of being a weenus about it, but I
Now
finally
you
broke down and
absolutely
watched
love
them,
it.
and they're my two of my all-time favorite, possibly my two all-time favorite horror movies. So there you go. It just goes to show people sometimes you gotta take chances, you gotta take
Hmm.
risks, you gotta step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, you
And
do.
yeah, and
But
you'll
my so speaking of like that, like same goes like with Terrifier. I
oh
was
yeah,
like, yeah, so like they were talking so much hype about Terrifier, Art the Clown. I was like, he's just a like goofy clown. Like, why would I want to watch it? Well,
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, well, like, you know what? Heck with it. I'll watch it. I'm like, oh, this is like, I actually like this because one, he's funny and I like that. He makes
Mm-hmm.
me laugh. And then there's gory parts in it.
Yep.
Very gory.
Yep.
And now I
Exactly.
like Terrifier.
Yeah, I would like I remember going to Crypticon and seeing pictures of Art the Clown, and everyone's like, "Oh, Terrifier this." This was before Terrifier 2 even came out, and everyone's like, "Terrifier, oh, Terrifier, Terrifier." Terrifier was everyone was talking about it, and I'm seeing this black and white clown, and I'm like, he doesn't look scary. He looks kind of dumb actually. Like I don't understand what the big appeal is. It's another
Yep.
clown. Big whoop. We already have Captain Spaulding. We already have it. We already have how many clowns? Big. It's Art the Clown. Woo. And then I actually watched it and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I
Yep.
see what
Yeah.
what everyone's excited about, what the point is. And now like I think Art is probably the top killer clown in all of horror, even more so than my beloved Captain Spaulding. So
And it.
and it, I think, but I definitely think you can draw kind of a line connecting some of the style and theme from this into Terrifier. Like I think
Oh, yeah.
they're
Definitely.
influenced it and that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I recommend it if you like horror. It's fun to see Dwight from The Office get turned into a fish man. You don't actually. It's fun to see Walton Goggins 20 years ago, 22 years ago, as a cop for
Hmm.
like 10 seconds. And it's always good to see Bill Moseley and Sid Haig. And Sherry Moon Zombie, I have mixed feelings about her, but she does what she's here to do, and
Yep.
she does it well. So we've talked in
She's
the,
she's more of a sexier type,
yeah,
you know.
like when it comes to acting, like some of the ways she delivers, she gets better. I think in each movie, her actual acting gets better. Like by the time you get to Three from Hell, she's actually doing a good job of acting. This one, her acting, it's almost like high school play level. Like she sounds like she's just barking out her
I
lines.
I believe this was her first movie because way back in the day, she used to be a model.
Okay.
So that I'm thinking that this is her A House of Thousand Corpses was probably her first movie, I believe. So
Hmm.
it would make sense.
That all definitely makes sense. But that being said, she's definitely hot and sexy and creepy and gets the job done. Can
Hmm.
tell why Rob Zombie married her.
Yep, pretty much.
And we've talked in the past that we think Rob Zombie's a dick, but he makes good movies.
Well, even ever I used to be loved his movies and his music. I still do listen to his music
Oh, me too.
somewhat, but like it's like I just can't get over like now it just ruined because he was an asshole.
Yep,
Like
exactly.
legit an asshole.
Yep.
And it just like ruined like pretty much everything.
It doesn't. It makes you not want to listen to his music or not watch his movies because you're like, oh yeah, that's that fuckhead made this,
Yep.
you know. But that being said, I still love these movies and I still listen to his music pretty much regularly. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about it? I s there's
I
the,
still
the
listen to it here and there, but
there's the meme going around on social media now with a picture of Rob Zombie, how he looks nowadays, and it says he looks like the ghost of Macho Man Randy Savage. I
oh my
think
God.
I think that's spot on.
Yeah, that's definitely like on the money right there.
Yeah. So, oh, well, it looks like we are getting our warning that we are running out of time. So, any other thoughts on House of a Thousand Corpses, Breezy?
Nope. What about you?
Mm, I say if you're into horror and you want a fun thrill ride experience, this is definitely the movie for you. And if you know people that aren't into horror, somehow trick them into sitting down and watching this so that you can blow their mind. Just ruin their whole
Yeah.
day, shock them.
Uh, yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So, and there you have it. House of a Thousand Corpses. We appreciate all the listeners. We are gearing up for Crypticon here in a couple months, so I think we'll be touching on a few more of those movies, but be sure to send us your requests. We always love requests. If you have anything you'd like to see us do different or any suggestions or recommendations, be sure to let us know. We're open to feedback. You
Hmm.
can comment on our YouTube vids. You can comment on the various podcasting platforms. Most of them allow commenting, and we definitely appreciate it. So
Yep.
thank you so much.
Thank you.